Guys, welcome back to Broke Not Broken. I'm Shannon, and today we're going to be making some votive candles using Pillar Soy. Now, caution, if you're using Pillar Soy, it is not a true pillar candle. You're going to need a tight fitting votive container in order to use these candles, otherwise they will melt everywhere all over your counters and floors. So that's a cautionary. So let's get started making. Materials you're going to need is Pillar Soy wax, colorant if you're going to use it, votive self-centering wicks, and votive molds. Melting pot or a double boiler, because we're going to put this over water. We're not going to do it in the microwave. Put roughly 2 1/4 cups of the soy wax into my double kettle, my boiling pot or my pouring pot, over water. I will let that melt down. As the wax is melting, prepare your molds. So what I mean by that is just straighten out your wicks and place them in. They are self-centering, so you should be able to straighten them. But once the wax goes in and starts to harden up, you can get them almost dead center, if not center anyway. And I'll show you that later on how I do it. At this point, you want to be checking your wax constantly and giving it a good stir, because the pillar wax version has a tendency to stick together and not melt as well as the container version. It's a softer version, the container version. See? Sticking. Using any kind of fragrance oil, now is the time to check what measurement you need for your weight of wax. So if you're using, say, 2 1/4 cups of wax, that's equal to 1 pound, and a little bit better than that. So I would use no more than 25 mils, but no less than 15 mils per pound of wax. And I would have this poured out already, which I will be doing as soon as the wax is melted. Once the wax is completely melted, you're going to want to remove it from the heat. You don't want to burn your wax, and you don't want it to exceed 150 degrees at any given time. So our wax is, I'm going to turn the camera, almost there. See the lumps? Another minute or so and it'll be ready to be pulled off the stove, and then I'll start stirring out the heat from the wax, then adding the colorant. Now, if you have a candy thermometer, this would be the time to use it. You want to add the colorant between 120 and 115 degrees. I know just by looking at the wax what it looks like. I've been making this for over a decade, and you also want to make sure you get most of the heat out of the wax before you start pouring. If you're using fragrance oils, otherwise you're just wasting the oil. I use specific oil that is made for soy candles and is safe for bath and body as well. That's totally optional. That's totally up to you guys. Now today I'm using 20 mils. That is extremely potent. I'm using cinnamon bun, and it's very, very strong. So we'll keep shooting, and I'll keep showing you the progress as we go. Okay, as you can see, the wax is completely melted. There's no little fragments of hard wax still left in there, and it's ready to add colorant to it. Now I use color chips. Now this isn't a brown brick color, and you only want to add 1 brick per pound. If you're using liquid, follow the bottle. So I'm just going to add that. And we're just going to stir this out, sorry. Stirred all the heat out of the wax. It's warm, it's not hot. It's now time to add the fragrance oil. So I'm going to add that. That's 15 mils. And here's another 5 mils. And you're going to stir that in as well, just for a second. Then you're going to bring your pot over to your molds, which are right here. And you're just going to pour it in. It's real simple, right to the top. without overflowing. Like that. Okay. You will notice that all the wicks are on a lean. Now you're going to want to give them about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're just going to want to push them up gently, or you can use a dowel rod to kind of hold it in place, but I prefer to do it this way. Now once they're set, they will look like this guy right here. And see how he's got this cracking, like he's still warm, he's not completely set. But once he's cool, I'm going to leave him for 24 hours like this. And then I'll take a heat gun to fix any of the cracking. And that's from the air in my house being too cold right away, you know, at the pour. And then I will pull him from the mold and the whole thing will come out. And it will look like this guy right here. Perfect in every way.